Hello, kids. Welcome to the world of Glenard. We are in a city that will just not let go of winter. It just keeps snowing here and snowing. Even when we have a break where it melts, it comes back to haunt us. Yes, not fun. I'm hiding down here because it's snowing right now. And I know we'll be buried by morning. And I don't want to shovel tonight. So, thank you everyone for watching the videos I've been posting. The Don't Do What I Did videos seem to be striking a chord with people. That is great. I'm glad you're enjoying those and the humor that goes with them. I have a few more different things coming up, video-wise. We'll keep you posted on that. So today we'll do an episode 5 of Don't Do What I Do, or what I did. Don't do what I did. Do and did. Sounds like a Manfred Mann song. Do, diddy, do, dee, do. Something like that. It was a big hit. Anyways, let's start today off with Don't Do What I Did. Don't lend musicians your band gear. This is kind of self-awareness because you just don't do that. Because most musicians can't replace something if it gets broken. And yeah, don't do what I did. Yeah, I have somewhere in this world an Eldegas Les Paul guitar, Les Paul shaped clone with a case. I lent it to someone I will not name. And that guitar has now been drifting from my life for 30-something years. Along with that was a beautiful, thick Beatles guitar book. Yes, I should have got that back, but no, this person just took off and I never saw it ever again. So, don't do what I did. Tie a string to it, tie a chain, whatever. Don't lend your shit to musicians. I did it more than once, though, because I lent a beautiful, thick Rush book to someone in a band years and years ago, and I never saw that either. And I love that book because I am a Rush and Beatles nut. Nope, that has gone, long gone. So no guitar and the books. There was probably some, we can't get into auto tools. Automotive tools, yeah, I could open up a can of worms right there. I can't, yeah. Now I don't lend shit out. Don't lend nothing. Nope. Make sure you keep it at home under lock and key. I was in a band one time. And the person in the band used to borrow stuff all the time. Not from me. I wasn't as stupid at that point. But he would borrow from people. And he would immediately run down to the pawn shop and pawn the shit off. So basically, yeah, he would borrow the guitar. The people would lend it to him generously. Sure. When you're ready, bring it back. Yeah, no problem. Pawn shop gets it. I mean, the pawn shops are a little more stricter now, but back then, nope. So the guitar would be pawned off, never to be seen or heard of again. Yeah. And then, like in my case, the musician splits town, and what are you going to do? Not much. You're kind of screwed. Well, that's the scoop there. So, I mean, I've had people ask to borrow stuff off me. And unless I really, 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 really know them well, I say no. And I made a little video about this, and I might include it in this one, of borrowing Glen's drum set and the results of that. Excuse me. I have lent out my snare drums once in a while to really close friends. And no issues. And lent a drum set out one time or a couple of times to a friend. No issues. But that doesn't always happen. It's like when they leave the country, then you wake up. It's like, you're not getting that shit back. Yep. They were friends, bandmates. Yes. So don't do what I did. Don't lend your goodies. Don't lend those goodies. They are hard to replace, and we all know no two musical instruments are the same. You can have two of them sitting side by side that look exactly the same, and they won't be the same. So you can cry all you want, but if you're stupid like me, you just go, I learned a lesson. I learned that I'm really stupid for trusting people. So, anyways, next one. I think I'm going to sneeze. We'll edit that out. Let's talk about lazy musicians. Lazy. We're talking lazy. I am not one of those. I have all this music gear, and believe me, I play with this music gear every day. Drum every day. It would be really stupid to go and spend all that money on the gear that I have and just let it sit here. No. We're talking the lazy musicians that don't want to learn songs, don't want to move gear. I put up with that in bands. Don't do what I did. Don't put up with that shit. I was in a band, not mentioning any names. Nope, not mentioning a name. I was in a band with one of the lazies I speak of that wouldn't learn the songs. They played guitar and they wouldn't learn the songs. They would go on stage not knowing the song and just have the volume off and went through the motions. When you're in a situation like that, you basically, you're in Milli Vanilli mode, which is a taboo area to be in. I don't know why people would do that. It's more common than you think. I experienced it only this once. I might have experienced it twice in my entire music career, but I don't know who they think they're fooling, but I couldn't find a paper bag to put on my head half the time, having to put up with that. And it went on for years. It's like, instead of doing that, why don't you just learn the songs and contribute to the songs? And it just, no. I want to look like a monkey up there with a fake guitar around my neck and just go through the motions like an actor. Very puzzling. Can you imagine me playing drums and then one song faking it? I mean, some people say I fake it anyways, but can you imagine just going through the motions on the drums without actually making a noise from them? That would be very cartoonish. I can't even imagine me just faking the drums, air drumming around a real drum set on stage. But this is the world we live in. You can go on YouTube and see people faking. Hell, they lip sync, so why not fake guitar too? I don't know who they're fooling. Most guitar players pick up on it. Well, what do you know? This is a new level of mystery. Yep, it happened to me. And I don't know how I put up with it. But it wasn't my band. Because if it was my band, that wouldn't happen. When you're a hired gun in projects, you bite your fingernails off, you put the blinders on, you knock yourself in the head about 5 times with a drumstick or a brick, you can find one, and just go, I'm going to do this for the money, I'm going to do this for the money, I'm going to ignore everything that I see on this stage. Everything! I'm just going to do my job. I'm going to do my job only and not worry about the other potato heads. Yes. But that is the epitome of lazy. If you don't want to learn the song and you would rather just fake. I can't even fathom that, but there's also those ones, and I put up with them. Don't do what I did. Don't put up with these musicians, this type. When you got to learn songs, they come for band practice, they don't know the song. And how many out there have been the press play rewind person in the band? Me, right here. I wore out these 2 fingers. Stop, play, rewind, stop, play. For musicians that come to band practice not knowing a song and then take up the first half hour. The first half hour of band practice while everybody's around picking their nose. Yep, I put up with that for, I've lost count. You have all this time at home, your time. Not my time, your time. So yes, I have sat there like a dumbass, pushing the buttons on the old cassettes, wearing them out for someone to learn the song so you could have a band practice that was already behind schedule. Yes, that's why the one good thing in the last band I was in, last few actually, we never had band practices. We learned the songs on our own and we did them cold turkey on stage. And if you didn't know the song, you were looking like a goof. And nobody wants to look like a goof on stage, even though I look like a goof most of the time. No, you want to be able to play those songs, at least to get through them alive, without the shrapnel hitting you in the face from all the bad notes and everything else. But actually, it was pretty good. I can't speak for everyone. Not everyone did it right. They were one of those lazy musicians that didn't want to learn the song. That happens a lot. So it paid off, not having band practice, because then you had no excuse. You were going on stage, and if you didn't know it, you were the one looking like an ass. And I wish I had video of that. No, well, I do have some of people looking like asses up there trying to fight their way through a minefield. But don't do like me and let these people survive in a band. Nope. It's time to send them on their merry way into the penalty box of life. It's the way it is. The penalty box of life. You don't learn the songs, you get to go back home, repent your sins, rethink your bad habits, and then try again. Most of the time, that never happened, but the odd one did do the right thing and learn their stuff. Next, let's see. I have a little bit of a list today, but how can I put this? As a musician, we should be paid like other employees. Don't do what I did, and some of you have done this, musicians out there. Do not play for the door. Do not pay musicians by the door. That is just a scummy way of pinching a dollar to pay an employee. Bands are employees for these venues. I never, ever wanted to do that, but I did on occasions. I was a dummy. I was stupid. I wanted the gig, and that's what you had to do. You had to bite the bullet because the bar would only give you the cost or the payment via the door, whatever the door was. How you even monitor the money at the door, you can't, unless your band is doing it. And rarely have I ever seen that. It's never happened to me. No, they take the door pay, and if 30 people come, you're basically working for free. And people have tried that. I was stupid enough to do that. It's not even worth moving the gear for that kind of gamble. But I was a goof and did do that with the bands I've been in. I remember doing that with the last band I was in. Wasn't my choice, but remember how I said in the other video, majority rules. I was against it, but what are you going to do? If you like playing a venue, and you don't mind playing for free, or minuscule bucks, then by all means, be a dumbass like me and do it. It was not good. Can you imagine playing all the time for a guess? It's a guess at how many people are going to come. A guess. You can't live that way. Do you pay your employees that way? No, you do not. Then when you have on top, do you trust your fellow bandmates? I did. I trusted them. Do they pay you fairly? Do they pay you even, Steven? I always thought they did. But then you learn lessons in life. Oh, yes. You're always learning lessons when you're a musician. You're really, really tested on friendship and trust. You really are. I don't know why there are some people out there that feel they deserve $30 to $100 more than you just for, I don't know, getting a booking. They feel entitled. I've never followed that policy. I've been in bands where I had thought I was getting a certain amount and found out that I wasn't. And I still, like a dummy, kept playing and playing. And then eventually your brain catches up with the logic. Drummers like me were a little bit slower. So yes, it took a while to catch on that, hey, I've been ripped off. I've been ripped off by the guys in the band. How does that happen? Yes. Yeah, not too often that's happened, but enough to make you go home at night and want to just scream for about 4 hours. And then want to go out and hang them all. But no, we can't do that because we're the idiots. I was the idiot. I basically saw it happen. And what are you going to do? I think you're in disbelief. Like, did they just rip me off? $350? Where's the rest going? Said the dumb Glen. Where is that 300? Where would they spend that? How could they be that naughty? Yes, it does happen. Then, yeah, I was in a band one time where the person took money off for everything. And it was like, I couldn't believe the list of stuff. But it was like, okay, as long as I get to play. What a dummy. What a dummy. It was like dealing with the government. Here's a long list of deductions coming from you. So hold out your hands at the end of the night and we'll just pour a couple of coins into your hands. Yes, I was a dummy. But being ripped off by your own bandmates, money-wise, that's a new experience. That's a feeling you never get over. You remember that. You remember it. Once you wise up, once your brain thaws out from being a dummy for so long, once it thaws out and the spark plug starts going off in there, and you realize these guys called you friend and ripped you off. Yep. But you know what? I am not alone. I've heard stories in my local area of a number of situations like that. Not cool. And it always catches up to these people. So we'll jump into the next one. The bar pay. What the bars pay. This is a slippery slope. You know, when I first started into this business, it was like I thought everybody was fair. Or as they used to say when I was a kid, fairsies squaresies. All the bands in the area made the same money. There were no vultures out there. The venues were looking out for you. No. I don't know if you can fully trust anyone. You can't even trust yourself because you walk in there blindly like I have done. Many a time. And just, wow, look, we get to play here now. Hot damn. You know, not even thinking about the money situation. You're just like, we're in the door. We're in the door. Once you're in the door, smooth sailing after that. Nope, that's not how it works. Lots of stuff to deal with once you're in the door. Getting fair pay? Well, fair pay. I've been playing since 1977. You do the math. 49 years, I guess. I'm coming up 50 next year for playing. And the money has not changed that much. In that many years, you'd be shocked. The average price, you'd be shocked. So, but there are some venues, they want to play the game. Of course, they want to save a buck. So they start playing the game. The game is, well, we're just going to do the bottom barrel price. And I've taken that bottom price. I've taken it just to get in the door. And then get some bars. We're going to, well, you know what? If you play this, you know, for this much, the next time, I'll give you more. How many times have you heard that, musicians? Yeah. The next time you will get the same as you settled for the last time, which was under what everybody's making. Yes. Dummy. I've done it. I've done it with my own bands, and I've been in bands that, you know, basically scratched and crawled to get into these venues. Because once you're in there, you know, you can at least try and work out some deals. But if you're not in the door, that's the problem. So yes, I was one of those goofs that took the bare minimum money to get in. And what I find really strange is when I played in the States, I never had to deal with that. It seems to be over here. Because over there, they're pretty much, what do you want? They'll sign a contract to it. Over here, no contracts. Word of mouth, here's the money. Yep. So then you get these weird situations where the bar says you're making something and the band's leader says a totally different price. So there's a conflict of interest. I've been in those situations. Not fun. But it's all a part of being a musician. And that leads you to believe, you guys are nuts. Why would you do stupid stuff like that? Don't know. I don't know. I don't know why we buy 8 guitars and 8 drum sets. There's something a little bent out of shape up there. I don't know these things. And unfortunately, idiots like me learn after the fact, after you've already gone through a whole bullshit thing. Yeah. So the brain sparks up with knowledge after you've been screwed over. Yeah. That kind of stuff is like every day in the music thing. Okay, next. Don't be in a band that cannot get their head straight on the songs to play when you hit the stage. I never thought this would be a thing, but it is definitely a thing. I've been in bands that followed set lists, and in most cases you would think that would be the smart thing to do. Not always. Not always. The problem lies when you play the same set list forever and ever and ever. You know, your own eyes can see when a set list has been kicked and kicked and kicked down the road because the bar staff is now falling into a coma because you play the same songs in the same order all the time. That is the first sign that you're making a mistake. But hey, don't watch them. Don't listen to their opinions. Their looks say it all. Don't be like that. Don't do what I did in my early days and had that song list just molded in stone, never to move from its order. I learned quickly, but I punished some bar staff playing the same tunes over and over again. You have to learn your mistakes. You have to evolve. You have to recognize the problems. Where working a set list and changing it out works in your benefit, for at least from an audience point of view and from the staff listening to you who has to put up with you once a month, that's a bonus. But I'll be honest, some people haven't learned that yet. They just keep it going the same way. I don't know why they miss all the cues. I missed a few when I was younger, I admit. But now, being the drummer, I look around all the time to see these cues. All the time. They're straightforward. They're right in your face. If you miss them, I feel sad for you, because audience attendance usually starts to drop and you start losing bookings. On the other hand, don't do what I did. Don't sit in a band that doesn't follow set lists and they fight on stage trying to figure out what song to play. Don't get me wrong. I love playing without set lists. The problem is, you have to think like a chess player, right? And drummers, well, we're not involved in that equation on stage 99% of the time, because if someone asks us what song to play, and you go even squeak one word of a song title, you will get rejected. And then they'll continue fighting on the front of the stage to try and find the next song. The dance floor is full. People are still gyrating from the last song you played, waiting for you to kick into the next song. But you can't kick into the next song because a few idiots on stage are fighting over who and what is going to happen, song-wise, and who's singing it. Oh, yes. Don't be like me, who finally gets pissed off on stage and said, pick a fucking song to sing. Live microphone. Oops. I'm sorry. But I couldn't stand seeing all these people gyrating for the next song and seeing 3 minutes go by. Don't do what I did. Don't yell at the band on a live mic while they're arguing with each other on a live mic. Everything on a live mic. Yes, I feel sorry for these people who had to put up with that. Oh, it happens. It continued to happen for a long, long time in my previous band. I remember doing road gigs, same problem. The advantage of not having a set list can be great, can work in your favor. Nothing better than the ultimate surprise of the song, what's coming next. Not being able to predict the whole entire night by a stale set list. Yep. Works in your benefit until you get two prima donnas on stage that can't pick a fucking song. While the rest of the band just hovers in disbelief while 35, 40 people are on the dance floor and these two guys are arguing over a stupid song that they can't in advance pick. The best part is when someone does pick a song and gets kicked down by the supreme leader in the band. Makes no sense to me. Never did. But don't do what I did. Don't lose your cool. Don't lose your cool. You're just a paid employee. Sit behind that drum set. Listen to these two asses argue about song while 35 or 40 people look at you with that look on their face that's like, hey, we're on this dance floor. We're polishing the dance floor with our feet. Throw some fucking music behind it. Yep. I have to swear because it was a very aggravating moment that happened more than I would like. Not my fault. Not my fault. Don't do that. There's something about live mics. There's a rule for live mics. Yes, I know I broke that rule. Getting pissed off. But the worst thing is wearing in-ear monitors and hearing the arguments on stage of just picking a stupid song. I've heard other bands doing it, but I think the worst was the band I was with. Yes, it was an ongoing problem. It was brought to our attention many times and quickly ignored. Not by me, it drove me nuts. Don't do what I did. Don't keep quiet every time that happens. Sure, don't do it on a live mic. But don't keep quiet about that. That is a problem that has to be fixed. And believe me, for the few times I was ticked off, I tried. Then you realize, nope. We've got cement heads in the band, and your word means squatto. Sit there, do your job, shut the hell up. Shut it. You are furniture that makes noise. That's it. A piece of furniture that shall not be heard for an opinion. Yeah, I've had some new experiences in this last 5 years. But I must say, after COVID, the experiences have really been interesting. Did COVID warp some people's brains? Did that whole lockdown thing? I don't know. But definitely a big change, a shift that in people since then. It's kind of sad. Spooky. Ooh, spooky. So anyways, that's a pretty big list. There's a couple more, but I'm going to have to edit this because I talk too much. Don't do what I did. Episode 5. Yes, I talk too much. It's the ones that don't talk you have to watch for. Oh, yes. Watch out for those sneaky buggers. They're out there. Okay, I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to add at the end of this video my video of borrowing Glen's drums, this little skit I did. Hope you enjoy it. Thanks for listening. Glen, do you think it would be all right if I borrowed your drums for a little while?
Are you serious? There's the door. Get out.